Have you ever had just too many interests and didn't know what to pick?
It's my life story.
Well, today's guest is a jack of all trades, and we're going to get to hear about his life story and how he went from being a senior vice president at NBC Telemundo to a executive on the International Tennis Hall of Fame. I mean, he really does so many things in media, in the world of education as well, and bringing up the Hispanic community.
And he invented an energy drink, which is awesome.
That is your favorite part. I can't wait to hear more about that one.
Me too. I'm Josh Johnson.
And it's Andi.
And welcome to The Perfect Time.
Oh, in the morning, nothing compares to waking up with the sound of the sea.
Today's guest, we have Fabrizio Alcobe Fierro. He is a jack of all trades. He has been an executive in multiple media and PR companies. He's been senior vice president at Telemundo Global Studios and NBC. He's been on the board of directors for U.S. Tennis Association or U.S. Open, and now currently is on the board of directors for the International Tennis Hall of Fame, which I think is super amazing. He also has just released a new energy drink. It's called Athon, and each flavor is a different Greek god. Right?
Correct.
And then you also own an international talent agency and are based out of Miami, Florida.
Correct.
Correct. And you're very, very humble and great human being as well. So thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me tonight.
And you have an amazing accent.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's see. It's the time difference between Miami and California.
Exactly.
Thank you for flying out all the way from Miami to join us. We really
No,
appreciate it.
it's a pleasure to be here.
It's
A
an
privilege.
honor.
Yes.
Oh, of all of your accomplishments that you have done in this one lifetime, what are some of the things that you're most proud of, would you say?
You know, it's difficult to pick. It's like, who's your favorite, children, no?
Yeah, who's your favorite child?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And,
must pick one.
I know. So there's a couple. I mean, if I think about from the production side, no?
Mm-hmm.
When I was there, I created from scratch a fellowship for producers.
At NBC,
At
right?
NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting because you will think that obviously NBC, with the history it has, they had something that I could get inspired by. I said, okay, you're going to just get the playbook from someone. No?
For young talent.
For young talent. And the idea was, as Telemundo was migrating from producing the longer series, which people think still call novelas, to the mini series that you see in Netflix, the talent that you need behind camera and front camera is different. I mean, you need better actors, you need, the talent, the producers, and the directors are more in, what you see in movies. And so there was a scarcity of executive producers that could really transfer skills from the traditional longer series novelas to the shorter ones. So we figure out, well, we're going to start producing much more of those. Let's go and develop a talent. So basically we created I call it a paid masters program. There were people from all parts of the world applying.
Okay, so they had already studied some kind of film career or production career and then applied themselves in the field.
Yes.
And then you provided an opportunity for them to go straight into working at the studio and studying and developing more skill sets.
And the idea was most of executive producers have already 20 and more years of experience. And so let's just basically accelerate that experience into a program, an accelerated program of everything that happens in the NBC. So what people get to learn in 6 months, we condense in 2 weeks. And so I feel very proud because, for me, I always want to look back and see people that you touch somewhere. And help in their careers and being successful. And it's just great. I recently, many years ago, I was a consultant too. And recently I connected with some of the people that work for me. It's like now he's the head of this big consulting firm in China. So he's the superpower of China. He's and I still
he works for you.
I used to work for me.
Wow.
And I still, it's funny because he's this mayor guy, very powerful guy.
Yeah.
But I still see him as someone that
works for you.
No. not from me, but I see him as a kid.
Yeah.
You saw his development.
And the great thing is that they all still humble. But soon after I started, doing my little things I was lucky to create this concept of Education Week. So, and the inspiration actually came from NBC, even though didn't know I was going to work in NBC. NBC did the week for education, and they just basically wanted to elevate the importance of education with the audience. They did it more focusing on the teachers. We decided that we didn't have the influence with the teachers, we had influence with the parents of children, of Hispanic children, and what I decided, with the team is that the objective was really to elevate the importance of education with the Hispanic community. When I look at great generations of people that came to this country, to New York, for example, the Jewish community, they understood perfectly that education was the key for success, and they pushed their children to get to get good educations and succeed. And so I felt that we could do something with that, and it was a lot of fun because we had to produce every year. First, I had to get money, so I went and found money from the Gates Foundation.
Josh loves that.
I love it. I love finding money.
So I got money from foundations, and then we developed.
And how old were you at this point?
I was in my late 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically created mini documentals that we were going to insert as stories in each of the programs. So, but you can imagine, Univision has the same flow as NBC or ABC. You have a morning show, no?
Just like
and
us.
I always like this one, not as nice as this one.
Always the perfect time. Yes.
Hear that? Not as nice as this one.
And then
it's an expensive set that we have here. Look at this view back here. It's a view.
Look, the sun's just coming out. Look at the lighting.
And then they have, obviously, they go more into entertainment, and in the afternoon before they have the news, whatever. And so the focus was to recreate the week. We actually, when you see we call it the bog, but little logo of NBC or ABC.
You call it the what?
The bog.
The bog?
The bog, which is the little logo of NBC on the corner of the screen.
Oh.
That's
a bog.
So it's called the bog.
Why is it
the
called
peacock, right?
In this case, the peacock, and Univision was the U.
Okay, but it's always called the bog.
The bog.
So the perfect time logo in the corner, that's our bog.
Yeah. That's our bog.
That's our bog.
See,
we had a bog.
We've had a bog this whole time.
And we
never knew what it was called.
We never knew it. Now we know.
So we decorated a bog with the theme of Education Week, so that all the week people knew there was something going on. I produced Teleton. There's this for people who don't know, Teleton is.
I'm sorry, I think you said Peloton.
No, Teleton.
Teleton.
Yeah.
Peloton didn't exist.
I thought you invented Peloton also.
I jumped into a Peloton, yes.
Tell us what Teleton is.
Teleton is interesting. It was created and invented by Jerry Lewis. But the concept of, basically...
Telethon.
Yeah.
Telethon.
We pronounce it telethon here in the U.S.?
Telethon.
Oh.
Did you not pronounce it telethon?
No, teleton.
Teleton.
I didn't know it was telethon.
No, Gary Lewis. He has a telethon for the kids.
Yeah.
Telethon.
But then he went, and then he went to in Latin America. He started with this famous host of a famous show called Don Francisco. He did it. He started in Chile, doing it for kids with disabilities, to help building centers for rehabilitation. And so similar to what Shrine, hospital does here. So we actually built the first center of rehabilitation in San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
So I brought the program 28 hours in a week, and it starts at 8 p.m. on Friday. You take over the network for 28 hours, which is not an easy convincing,
Non-stop, right?
Non-stop,
Yeah.
and you do the stories and you fundraise to.
One of my closest friends in Mexico, Diego, he is the music director of Teleton.
Ah, yeah.
So, and he does it here in the U.S. because they have it in San Antonio, as well as Mexico City every year.
So I started the one in the U.S. So
yeah, that's so cool. I actually didn't know that part. And actually, something we have in common. You know the show that I do, The Fixers.
Yeah.
We actually worked with Teleton in season 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we did. We built. I wasn't part of the show yet. I was only season 3.
Okay,
sadly.
that's how I couldn't see.
But,
we didn't
that's why you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, but my co-hosts who were a part of it then too, they worked with Teleton, and I was very excited because they were obviously in my home country, and I thought, I can't wait to be a part of this. So
I learned that it's pronounced Teleton in Spanish, and that you always pronounce it Teleton also.
Yeah, I had no idea it was Teleton.
Yes.
Telethon.
Telethon. Yeah, I think it's the H.
Yeah, Teleton.
I like Teleton better. Teleton.
I'm glad we switched over to tennis because I am interested into how that journey began. I mean, you are a tennis aficionado. You're on the International Tennis Hall of Fame Board of Directors. I saw a picture of you and Serena Williams the other day. I mean,
wow.
Tell me, what was that journey?
Like? You know, it's one of those passions that you get when you're young, and people ask me, "But you must be really good playing." Like, in reality, I'm not that good.
Really?
I just fell in love with it.
Right. Let's go play then.
Yes,
She wants to beat you.
So I just fell in love, and really accidentally, I just got into, not only playing, but then first helping, the U.S. Tennis Association to engage with the Hispanic community. It was the first thing how I got involved, because the mission is to grow the game, but the best way to do it mathematically is like, 1 of every 3 children in a park is Hispanic. It's just census data, it's not me saying, but so you can, and it's a community that traditionally has not been engaged in tennis, because, as I tell people, when you go to Mexico, Central America, there's only maybe 40 public courts among all the countries.
Yeah.
So it's a private club thing.
Yeah, it is, right.
So people don't feel that they have access to it, and then they come here and they have the mentality, and then even though there's 200,000 public courts in the U.S., they have a fence, and people. If you just move here, it's like they have a fence, and sometimes they have a lock you have to get from the public park, a key or something. Pay.
I never thought about this. It's interesting.
So they say a fence, this is not for me. There's just another private club.
Yeah.
So it's not the setup of a tennis court, because of the fence, is not inviting, and so
you're breaking those mental barriers.
You had to, and interestingly, one thing we did is we figured out, okay, it depends on the community. We were, less in New York, for example, New York City. So I say just do programs where you invite the community and the families, because the other thing you bring with the Hispanic community, they make decisions in families. So it used to be before the pandemic and like people buying cars and buying pizzas now and they get delivered. When the Hispanic community basically when they make a decision about buying a car, they bring the mother, the grandfather, and they all try and they sit on the car and they want to sit on the car and make a decision together.
They'll come out of the car like a clown car. Yeah.
The decision for, when they do, it's a very family, culture. And so for younger kid to get into a sport is not the decision of the kid or the one parent. So you engage with the community. So New York is very interesting. They did these events where they will entertain the family, the parents and the grandparents, and not even that, they even gave them some kind of education, like financial education or something.
Wow. Okay.
So they were while the kids were learning things, and they're
back to education.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that they felt connected. They invite me to sport, but they're helping me. Yeah. I trust you with my children on that. It's not because if you can just let your children come on this side of the fence. It doesn't work like that.
No, and if you're really investing in the child's education in that sense, the whole family's going to have an effect on their mentality
Yeah.
too. So I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a really great strategy too, in terms of helping the whole family develop in their aspirations, so that they can better support your athlete that is getting the education.
And they get to learn that, you know, you can actually, you know, make a living, a life, or even pay for education through sports. Because you know, the one thing that the Hispanic community hasn't still grasp is the like other, you know, minorities, is the fact that you can, you know, perform well in a sport or an art and get your education paid or get a scholarship.
Right. I mean, what do you think, Josh?
I think I want to know about your energy drinks. I've been trying to ask you this whole time because I am a huge energy. I know you are too. We love energy drinks.
We do.
I can't get through my day without coffee or at least 2 energy drinks. So please tell us more about the Greek gods. What is this?
So one thing that I know is I cannot stand still. So, you know, and
same.
So
I've been jittering underneath this table the whole time.
I've been like
so so you know, it was an idea of, you know, looking at, you know, the energy drinks that are out there. You know, these massive brands, Red Bull and and Monster. Which Red Bull, the first time I had Red Bull was when I moved to New York to study my master's, because I never studied so much in my life. I never read so much in my life.
Wow.
So I had to sleep very few hours, and it's like, how can I keep awake? And suddenly Red Bull, this is 1997, no? So Red Bull
wasn't around.
Just came out.
It was only Red Bull out there.
It was only Red Bull.
It was only Red Bull.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no Monster or any of that.
Not yet. No, it was Red Bull.
Yeah.
So you go and, you know, no offense, but you know, it tastes bad. I mean, you know,
not your favorite.
No, I mean, it reminded me, you know, maybe because I grew up in Mexico, it's exactly the same flavor as they give you when you get a cough or cold. They give you a syrup, and that same flavor. It reminded me of that one. Like, I don't know, like, you know,
brought back bad.
But I had
childhood memories.
But it worked. I had to. It worked, and it worked, but you know.
So the cough medicine.
Yeah, so the cough medicine. Although I had to stop taking it because it gave me, you know, the heart. You know,
Oh wow.
Yes.
So, and then, you know, so, you know, 25 years later, it's like, and then you see this massive brand being so successful, and still the same flavor, which I think that, you know. Anyway,
they will never be a sponsor of this show.
They will never ever.
He said, you know, there has to be something that we can do about this, no? And we went, you know, in a journey to develop this. You know, first we also say, okay, Red Bull, Monster, there's a theme here about, you know, beasts and monsters. You know? So, okay, I'm gonna play the opposite. I'm gonna play with gods. So, you know, so
I love that.
We like, then we play, you know, we like the word athon. Athon is not a word; it's a piece of a word that is used to show continuation. Marathon, triathlon, decathlon. So it just shows us something continuous. Yeah. So, and even the O in the art is the eternity ring, the Greek ring of eternity. So it just shows.
Wow.
And then we say, okay, you know, let's now use the gods. As every flavor is a god. So we have Aphrodite, which, by the way, is the favorite.
Yeah, Aphrodite is one of my favorites.
And it's the favorite flavor for some reason. We thought it was going to be Zeus because it's Aphrodite is pomegranate acai. And Zeus is apple ginger, which is and then we have Poseidon, which is blueberry guarana. And but I thought, you know, I wouldn't guess Aphrodite was gonna take over, you know, the world, the gods, you know. You know, now we're doing a second version that is with no sugar at all. This one has little sugar.
Yes, that one's
we're doing one with zero sugar.
I'm big on natural energy drinks.
No, this is natural. Sugar is natural.
I know.
But we're doing one with no sugar at all. You know, so people also. Which is interesting. I think that at some point, the energy drink brands will make a lawsuit about that, because you think about it, sugar, your energy comes from calories. If you give something without calories, you can claim there is no energy, no? It wakes you up with the caffeine.
But is that true? Or?
You know, the caffeine gives you a feeling that you have energy, because caffeine blocks
The
part of
receptors in your
receptors, so
brain.
you
The
can,
melatonin.
yeah.
Right.
So
So it
it
tells
not
you
gives
not
you
to.
really, I mean, I'm not a physician, but a physics expert.
Mhm.
But you know, there's no real energy from the definition of the word energy. If there's no sugar,
So a lawsuit's coming.
or maybe they're forced to change the name, and maybe they will change it. They will not call
That's
energy drink
okay.
anymore.
Just saying.
Fabrizio, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on the show. Your stories are amazing. Your career is incredible. It's an inspiration to me, to Andi,
Yes.
to everyone watching at home. I think we can only dream of doing half of what you've accomplished. So thank you so much for your stories. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for all that you do in education for the kids and for the Hispanic community. It does mean a lot. So one last question, because it's important. When you wake up in the morning, what is the slogan or the thing you tell yourself that gets you out of bed?
So it's the same that I wake up in the morning and the one I go with bed with. It's always be grateful. So
Always be grateful.
Always be grateful. I love that. Andi, is it a good time to be grateful?
I think it's always the perfect time.
The perfect time. Cheers to being grateful.
To being grateful.
And tequila.
Too many alcohol jokes on this show.
And scene.
Exactly. like you.